Welcome to Making a Difference. I'm your host, Dan Edelman, and today I'm here with Miranda Gahn, Pilot Law. Miranda, first of all, thank you for your service to our country. Tell us a little bit about how you've served our country and how you've taken that to also continue in your legal profession to help our servicemen and women.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you. So I have a really unique background. I've served in the military for about 24 years, and some of that I've been in aviation. I'm a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and during an aviation legal conference, I ran into a gentleman who I now work for. He owns Pilot Law, and because of his background, former F-18 Marine Corps pilot, we end up doing a lot of USERRA law, which is the United States Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, which is essentially employment law that protects National Guard and Reserve soldiers' employment rights. We end up serving and supporting guardsmen and reservists all over the United States, representing them in employment disputes with their employers. So it's really rewarding work. It's something that I'm happy to have the privilege of doing.
And this is servicemen who have gotten out of the service and are having issues with an employer, or servicemen that are still in the service who are having issues with the government?
So usually it's people who are still serving. So for example, if you work full-time for GE Aviation and you go away on a deployment, let's say you were serving overseas, you come back, and when you go to initiate your employment rights with GE, they re-employ you, but perhaps not at the same job at a lower pay or something like that. Or they don't recognize your year of service and you're not eligible for certain vacation days that you would have obtained had you never been deployed at all. So those types of things. Or if in fact a reservist is applying for a job and they are disqualified during the interview process because of their military service affiliation.
So on top of the normal employment laws, there's a whole other litany of rules that govern those that are continuing to serve our country in order to enable them to serve.
Right.
And I guess a lot of employers are not familiar with those rules.
Yeah, that's true. We find that a lot of employers either can't afford to comply, and we understand it's kind of hard for small business owners. But nevertheless, they either don't know about it or don't want to comply. But ultimately, we're looking to help protect the employment rights of the National Guard and Reservists who go out and protect us. So we find it pretty rewarding.
And so all of your clients for your law firm are reservist service people?
They are, and then a little bit of aviation law. So we probably do more USERRA cases because those tend to come up a lot more frequently, but we still do some aviation law as well.
And you're continuing to be in the service yourself?
Yes, I'm actually on a temporary active duty tour with the Florida National Guard. I'm their communications director, and I'm also a battalion commander of an air traffic control battalion.
Oh my gosh. How do you do all of that and keep everything going?
I'm busy.
That's important. And are you involved in other things in the community outside of your work and working with the service people?
So actually, funny that you ask. Recently, my home was nominated to be a part of the Beaches Parade of Homes, and so November 4th, my home will be part of that tour. I like to be a part of the community and volunteer my time when I can, but time is limited, so this is an opportunity to give back to the community. They use those funds to help do like the luminaries in the beaches area. So.
Well, I'm sure you've had a very interesting career with the service, and it's wonderful that you can continue to help these service people who run into issues with their employer. It's not something I knew anything about. Thank you, Miranda, for joining us today and telling us about you and making a difference in our community. And everybody at home, thank you for joining us today for Making a Difference. I'm Dan Edelman, your host.